Okay, I hope I'm audible to all students who are attending this lecture of macroeconomics, class 12. Okay, we continue with our lectures on money. And if all students can recall that in the previous lecture of money, we were discussing the functions of money. We had looked at the drawbacks of the barter system. Okay, we had also seen how money has evolved over a period of time. Okay, so and we had looked at the functions of money in the previous lecture. Now in this particular lecture we intend to continue from question 3 of my lecture note on money. Okay, so now you can see that I have listed a few definitions of money on the screen. So our broad question is define money. Okay, so money has many definitions. Okay, in the last lecture we just saw that money is anything which is readily accepted as a medium of exchange to make transactions of buying goods and services. That was the basic definition. But in this lecture we look at various other definitions. So one definition which you can see on your screen, legal definition of money. So money is what the law says it is. Okay, so any medium of exchange which is decided by the law will be called money. So since the law says that it is money, it will be accepted by everyone. So today in our economy, we are using paper money as fiduciary money. Now, if you actually look at the paper, it's any normal paper. But why that money is accepted? Because it is by the law. It is defined by the law. If we talk about rupee notes are notes which are defined by the law as money. That is why we are treating them as money. Today, if the government announces that from tomorrow onwards, those rupee notes are no longer applicable, they are no longer money. All of us know that in the history of Indian economy, we have had demonetization. 2018 was the year where the economy witnessed demonetization, where the 500 and 1000 rupee notes which were existing till that period of time were discontinued. So the moment it was announced officially by the government that the 500 and 1000 rupee notes are no longer money, then from the very next day onwards, they were no longer legal tender. That means money is what is defined by the law. Okay, so this was the legal definition. Students should learn of the legal definition. Then we have the functional definition of money. Now, functional definition of money focuses on the 4 functions which we have done in the previous lecture of money. So according to the functional definition of money, anything that performs 4 functions. One was the unit of value. You can attach a price to every commodity, medium of exchange, standard of deferred payments. Remember, deferred payments are those payments which are deferred to the future, and store of value. So basically, anything which is going to perform these 4 functions will be called money. Anything which can be used as a unit of value, which can attach a common base to every item, which can act as a medium of exchange for buying goods and services, which can be used to make payments in the future, and which can be used to store the value will be called money. This is the functional definition. Then we have the more important narrow and broad definition of money. So the narrow definition of money includes only that money which acts as a medium of exchange. However, when we talk about the broad definition of money, broad definition includes money as a medium of exchange also, but in addition to that, it also includes deposits at banks and post offices. Although all of us know that post offices don't have general acceptability these days, Banks are more prominent. Post offices are not very prominent today in the digital world. Okay, so I hope all students are clear. I am again revising. When we talk about the legal definition of money, any money which is accepted by the law will be called as money, and it is legal tender which can be used to discharge debts. Discharge debt means it can be used to make payments. Discharge debt simply means used to make payments. Then functional definition of money simply talks about money satisfying the four functions which we have covered in the previous lecture: unit of value, medium of exchange, standard of deferred payments, and store of value. And the narrow and broad definition of money simply includes, if I talk about the narrow definition, it includes money only acting as a medium of exchange. But if I talk about broad definition of money not only includes cash, which is acting as a medium of exchange, it also includes the deposits you make at the bank as well as the post offices. Okay, so hoping all students have understood question 3 and have no doubts. Okay, let's now move forward. Let's look at question 4. It's an objective type question. What monetary system does India follow? If we talk about the Indian economy particularly, so in Indian economy, we follow the paper currency standard, also called the managed currency standard. Okay, all of us know that we have paper currency along with coins. We also have paper currency. We have rupee notes, and it's called managed currency standard. Now, what is meant by managed currency standard? So we can say managed currency standard is that system in which the exchange rate of the nation's currency, the exchange rate of the nation's currency is regulated by the government. So basically, what is the exchange rate of the Indian economy? If we particularly talk about the Indian economy, the currency we have is rupees, Indian rupees, INR. Okay, so you will see that the exchange rate of our economy with other economies is regulated by the government. There is something called as fixed exchange rate. So if I come to the whiteboard to explain this in depth, although we will be doing this later also in our lectures on foreign exchange rates, within the exchange rates, we have the following types of exchange rates. If I talk about exchange rates, we have the following types of exchange rates. One is called fixed exchange rate. Remember, we will be covering all this again in our lectures on exchange rate determination when we'll do the foreign exchange rates. Okay, so fixed exchange rates, flexible exchange rates, and then we have managed exchange rates. Managed exchange rates. So when we talk about the fixed exchange rate, in this exchange rate is fixed by the government and not determined by the market forces of demand and supply. Exchange rate is fixed by the government and not determined by the market forces of demand and supply. When I talk about the flexible exchange rate, in this, the exchange rate is determined by market forces of demand and supply and government has no role to play. Government has no role to play. Okay. And when I talk about the managed system, managed exchange rate system, in this, the exchange rate is determined by the market forces of demand and supply, but is also regulated by the government. So government is going to announce a band. Within that band, your exchange rate can fluctuate based on the market forces of demand and supply. So we can say that managed exchange rate is taking the features of both fixed and flexible. When I say that our economy follows a managed exchange rate system, it means the exchange rate of our economy is determined by market forces of demand and supply, but government also has a role to play. The government is going to decide the upper band and the lower band, and the exchange rate can fluctuate between the upper band and the lower band based on the market forces of demand and supply. So in India, what do we follow? In the Indian economy, we follow the managed exchange rate system. Okay, this is called the managed exchange rate system. So if I come back to the lecture note, okay, so I hope question 4 is clear to all students and have no doubts. Let's look at question 5. What is meant by limited legal tender and unlimited legal tender? So first of all students should know what is meant by legal tender. Basically, any money which is recognized by the law, okay, any money which is in good faith of the law is called legal tender. It is legally accepted as the medium of exchange by law. Now, within legal tender, what is limited legal tender and unlimited legal tender? Now, paper currency in India, what is the paper currency? Rupee notes is the main currency of the country. It has unlimited legal tender. Unlimited legal tender means what? Unlimited legal tender means that it can be used to settle debts and make payments up to an unlimited amount. Okay, it can be used to settle debts and make payments up to an unlimited amount. Okay, so when we talk about rupee notes, you can use rupee notes to make payments up to unlimited amounts. There is no stoppage. But for smaller payments, coins made of cheap and light metals are used. These coins have limited legal tender since they can be used to make payments and settle debts only up to a limited amount. When you talk about coins, 1 rupee coin, 2 rupee coin, 5 rupee coin, now if I have to make transactions in India in crores or lakhs, I cannot use coins. I cannot use coins to make transactions of lakhs and crores in India. Okay, so that means coins have limited legal tender. Limited legal tender means that these coins can be used to make transactions only up to a limited value. But in India, paper currency has unlimited legal tender. That simply means that you can use the rupee notes to make transactions up to an unlimited amount. Okay, so this is what is meant by limited and unlimited legal tender. Okay, now let's look at question 6. Who issues the currency notes in India? All of us know the answer to this. The Central Bank of the economy. What is the Central Bank of India? The Reserve Bank of India, RBI. You should know the headquarters of RBI are in Mumbai. Okay, so the Reserve Bank of India has the sole right to issue the currency notes in India other than 1 rupee notes and coins. Now, this is a very important objective type of a question which can come. 1 rupee notes and coins are not issued by the RBI. RBI is going to issue all other currency notes but except coins and 1 rupee notes. Question 7, you can see who issues the 1 rupee notes and coins in India. They are issued by the government of India. So the government of India under the Indian Coinage Act issues 1 rupee notes and all coins. That means if in the exam you are asked who issues the 1 rupee notes and coins in India, your answer is not RBI. Your answer is the government of India. If you carefully look at the 1 rupee note, you will see that on the 1 rupee note, we have the signature of the finance minister, not the RBI governor. On all other rupee notes, you will see the signature of the RBI governor. But on the 1 rupee note, you will see the signature of the finance minister. That means in India, 1 rupee notes and coins are issued by the government of India, but all other currency notes are issued by the Reserve Bank of India, which is the central bank of the Indian economy. Okay, so these are objective type questions, pretty much easy. Let's look at question 8. What is meant by minimum reserve system? Okay, so again, we need to understand how do central banks work. So when we talk about the central bank of the Indian economy, which is Reserve Bank of India, RBI keeps certain reserves of gold or foreign currencies to create faith. That means whatever rupees are printed by the Central Bank of India are backed by equivalent amount of gold or foreign currencies. This is known as the minimum reserve system. It simply means whatever rupees are printed by the Reserve Bank of India, these rupees are backed by equivalent amount of gold or foreign currencies kept in the RBI vault. For example, if RBI has printed 2 crores worth of money in the economy, that 2 crore worth of money is backed by equivalent amount of assets. Now these assets are gold or foreign currencies. Okay, this is known as the minimum reserve system. That means whatever currency is issued by the Reserve Bank of India is backed by equivalent amount of assets which are kept in the vault of RBI. So hoping all students have understood question 6, question 7 and question 8 and have no doubts. Okay, now let's look at question 9. What is meant by inconvertible currency? Okay, so let's understand what is meant by inconvertible currency. So whatever rupee notes are printed by the central bank, they are not convertible into the assets which are backing it. So look at this, the paper currency in our economy. What is the paper currency? Rupee notes. In the Indian economy, the paper currency are the rupee notes. So rupee notes are not convertible into the precious metal, I can say the gold, that is backing it. We just said in question number 8 that whatever money is printed by the central bank is backed by gold or foreign assets. Now that money is not, whatever money is being printed by the central bank is not convertible into the gold that is backing it. Hence, we say that the currency is said to be inconvertible. The central bank is printing money against gold and that money is getting circulated in the economy. That money is not convertible back to gold. So that currency is said to be inconvertible. Okay, so this was one question. Let's look at question 10. What is meant by fiduciary money? Now, fiduciary money, you should know it's also called as legal tender. So they can also ask you what is meant by legal tender. Your answer is going to remain the same. Fiduciary money is that which is accepted as money on the basis of trust that its issuer commands. So the main phrase here is basis of trust. If today all people lose faith in the central bank, then the money which is printed by the central bank will have no value. The reason that the money printed by the central bank has value is because the public has faith in the central bank. If today all of us stop having faith on the central bank of our economy, then the currency which is printed by our central bank will no longer be legal tender. Okay, this was fiduciary money. Then all of us know what is meant by CC economy. We have done this. CC economy is also called barter economy. Commodity for commodity. So these are all one markers. What we are covering in the lecture today are primarily one markers based on money. So an economy in which commodities are exchanged for commodities. Then the next thing, what is meant by fiat money? So again, fiat money is also called fiduciary money. Also called legal tender. All these terms are the same. Fiat money, fiduciary money, legal tender money. Money which serves as money on the fiat or the order of the government is called fiat money. Okay, so till question 12, if any student has a doubt, you can unmute your mic and you can ask. Okay, let's now look at another very important concept within our lectures on money. This is called as what is the meaning of money supply? From examinations point of view, it's a very important question. So explain the meaning of money supply and what are the various measures of money supply or money stock. So first of all, let us understand what is meant by money supply. So I can say the supply of money means the total stock of all forms of money. Now, what are the forms of money? We have paper money. Paper money is rupee notes. Then we have coins. Then we have demand deposits of the banks. All students should know what is meant by demand deposits. Demand deposits are those deposits which you keep with the bank and you can withdraw them anytime on demand. That means when you are keeping money with the bank and you can withdraw it anytime on demand, it's called demand deposits. So when we talk about the supply of money, it means the total stock of money which is held by the public at any given point of time. Now, public holds money in the form of rupee notes, in the form of coins, and in the form of deposits with the banks, which are held by the public at any particular point of time. Okay, so when we talk about money stock or supply of money, I again repeat, it is the total stock of all the forms of money which is held by the public at a given point of time, where forms of money are rupee notes, coins, and demand deposits. Okay, so there are two important points here to understand. First of all students should know the difference between stock and flow concepts, which we have also done in our lectures on national income accounting. All students can recall from my lectures on national income, we have done the concept of stock versus flow. A variable is said to be a stock variable if it is measured at a point of time. A variable is said to be a flow variable if it is measured over a period of time. Now, supply of money is a stock variable because it is measured at a point of time, not over a period of time. When we talk about the money stock in the economy, you measure the money stock held by the public at any particular point of time, not over a period of time. So all of you should know that supply of money or money stock is a stock variable. You are measuring it at a point of time, not over a period of time. Second important point, stock of money always refers to the stock of money held by the public. The stock of money with the RBI and the banking system is not included in the supply of money. That means when we talk about money supply or stock of money, it purely refers to that money which is held by the public. Now, public holds money in three forms. We have just done it. Public holds money in three forms: coins, paper currency, deposits with the bank. These are the three ways in which the public holds currency. Either we keep money with ourselves in the form of coins or in the form of rupee notes, or we keep our money with the bank. So when we talk about the money stock in the economy, it purely refers to the stock of money held by the public. It does not refer to the stock of money with the RBI and the banking system. That means whatever money RBI is holding or commercial banks are holding, that is not a part of money supply. That stock of money which is held by the public. So I have further elaborated. You can see here the term public includes all the economic units. So public includes households, firms, local authorities, non-departmental enterprises of the government. Okay, the government, that means the central bank and RBI, are not included in the public sector because they are producers of money. That means except for the central government and the RBI, except for the central government and the RBI, every other unit is a part of the public. That means when I talk about public, public includes households, firms, local authorities, non-departmental enterprises of the government. Public does not include central government, public does not include RBI. RBI and central government are producers of money. Government is producing 1 rupee notes and coins, RBI is producing rupee notes. They are producers of money, and this money will ultimately be held by the public, where public includes all these economic units. So when we talk about money supply, it is money held by the public, not by the central government and the RBI. Okay, and if a question comes, who are the producers of money in the Indian economy, your answer is the producers of money in the Indian economy are the central government and the RBI. Central government is responsible for producing 1 rupee notes and coins. RBI is responsible for producing rupee notes, except 1 rupee notes and coins. So clearly you can see we have written what are the sources of money supply. There are three sources of money supply: the government, which issues 1 rupee notes and all other coins; RBI, which issues currency; and commercial banks. Commercial banks which create credit on the basis of demand deposits. Okay, remember when we deposit money with the commercial banks further loan them out. That means whatever we are depositing with the commercial banks are creating more money out of it by loaning it out. Suppose I keep 500 rupees with the commercial bank. Then out of 500 rupees, the commercial bank is going to keep some part as reserves. The remaining part will be loaned out. We will do this in more depth in our lectures on banking. Right now, since we are doing money, I'm not going into the depth of it, but in my lectures on banking, you will understand how commercial banks actually create credit in the economy. So I can say this, the last point becomes more clear in my lectures on banking. It becomes more clear in my lectures on banking. So right now, when we talk about sources of money supply, primarily there are three sources of money supply. Government is issuing 1 rupee notes and coins in the economy. So government is producing 1 rupee notes and coins. RBI is producing rupee notes. Commercial banks are producing credit in the form of more loans. When we deposit money with the commercial banks, they use our money to loan out. So commercial banks are creating credit. RBI is creating rupee notes. Government is creating 1 rupee notes and coins. So everything is crystal clear. All these are producers of money. All three of them are creating money in the economy: government, RBI, and commercial banks. Okay, now one important point to understand here is Actually, the money is created by the government and RBI only. Commercial bank is not creating money. Commercial bank is creating credit. That means commercial banks will be responsible for increasing the circulation of money, which is created by the government and the RBI. So students, the actual creators of money are only two. The actual creators of money are only two: the government, which means the central government, and the Reserve Bank of India. These are the only two actual creators of money. Commercial bank is not creating any new money, it is creating credit in the economy. That means it is responsible for bringing into circulation the money which is created by the government and the RBI. Okay, and then this is where I intend to stop in this particular lecture. We will look at the measures of money stock in India in the next lecture. So we'll see that in case of Indian economy, what are the various measures of money supply we have. Okay, so the objective of this lecture was to cover with all students the 1 markers which come in the exam based on the topic money, and a very important concept called the money supply. Although I will be discussing the concept of money supply in more depth in the next lecture of money. So this is where I intend to stop in this particular lecture. I hope all students have enjoyed this lecture. Any doubt, you can unmute your mics and ask, or call up, or mail me your doubts at divineschoolofeconomics@gmail.com. So this is where I stop in this lecture.